Greetings! I am Shawn Redman, aka the cheesily named Darth Shawn, and I'm here to talk about comics. It's been a couple of weeks since we've talked about any of the comics that have come out in the Star Wars universe, and since then, 4 different comics have come out in the 4 different series. So let's go ahead and talk about what I liked, what I didn't like, and what I loved. Darth Vader 8 kind of continues the problems that I've had with the recent Darth Vader issues. It's just kind of boring. I like the inner workings of the Empire we get, and we get a little more of this. We kind of see that there are more governors and moffs and people that are trying to take power, and you see Vader's working secretly, the Emperor's working secretly, and nobody's really communicating their true intentions to anyone. So I like that aspect. We've gotten that in the novels, got a lot of that, and I think that's kind of leading up into The Force Awakens, and as we start to learn about the First Order and everything that goes for there, that the Empire, while powerful, was kind of a mess in that everyone wanted power. But the problem with Darth Vader is instead of really focusing on that, we've got all these side missions and all these bounty hunters and things that just don't really engage me when I'm reading the Darth Vader comic. I'll talk later about Lando, and a lot of the same things happen in Lando in that there are bounty hunters and there are heists, but it's cooler because that's what I expect from that. From Darth Vader, I expect more Vader, and I'm just getting more of just kind of I don't think it's a bad comic. I actually think it's a good comic. It's just, as far as what is coming out in all the other ones, it's the weakest. You can skip Darth Vader 8. It's not integral, at least as far as I can tell, not really integral into the overall story. I know they're planning to kind of bring it back into the same universe as Star Wars, the comic is, and kind of intertwine them together. But I would say skip Darth Vader 8 unless you absolutely have to read it. There's just nothing that was that interesting in it as a whole. Lando number 2 is just awesome. I've had so much fun with the 2 issues of Lando so far. In this one, Lando has successfully stolen the Emperor's shuttle and found out that it's more than just a shuttle. Meanwhile, the Emperor himself hires a bounty hunter, this top-level hunter, to go hunt them down and bring them back and bring this shuttle back to him or kill them all. It's pretty fun comic. There's a lot of cool little hints, little things going around. There's characters that pop up. They're having a lot of fun with this run, and I'm glad that they've really nailed what Lando is, how he's cool, he's cocky. Both this and the appearances he's made on Rebels, it's really cool to see Lando back, even though I'm so afraid that we're getting close to Lando's death in the universe. I just feel that coming, but that's another story. For right now, go check out Lando. It's 2 comics in. It's easy to catch up. You really won't regret it. It's a lot of fun, especially if you're a Lando fan like me. Star Wars 8 continues a strong run that this series is having right now. The last 3 issues have elevated this to one of the best that's coming out right now. It picks up right after issue number 6. Remember that issue number 7 was entirely devoted to Ben Kenobi and was really good, but it picks up in issue number 6 where we learned that Han Solo has a wife. And I know there was a lot of gnashing of teeth and just anger towards the idea of Han Solo having a wife. I was kind of sitting back, be patient, let's see what they do with it before we get really angry. And Sana Solo is clearly something more deceptive. I have no doubt that legally she is Han Solo's wife, but there's something a little more deceptive going on, and we're seeing a little bit that she's kind of this bounty hunter and she's manipulating. There's a lot going on, and it's really quite interesting to see the back and forth of her and Han while Leia's kind of arguing, and you can see kind of the ground stone being set, where Han and Leia's relationship's going to get going, because this is in between A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back. But where this comic really excels is the little bit where it follows Luke. Luke has just come back from Tatooine, searching Ben Kenobi's house, trying to find things, as he's trying to figure out more about becoming a Jedi. And he determines he needs to go to Coruscant, the home of the Jedi. And so he goes to a cantina. Luke should never go to a cantina. That's just seems to never be a good idea, because every time he goes to a cantina, all hell breaks loose. This was really one of my favorite issues that has come out. It was entertaining. It's fun. The artwork is fantastic. Definitely check it out. I'd really recommend following the Star Wars series. I have a feeling it's really going to start picking up with little tidbits, especially as we move forward into Shattered Empire coming out soon. So I would say this is one of the musts now to read. It wasn't with the first couple of issues, about the first 3 or 4, but since then, it's worth a read. And here it is, my favorite, Kanan the Last Padawan. I've loved this series. As was evident in my last video, I love Kanan. He is my favorite character that they've brought into this universe. He's so deep. He's been through pain and loss, and he's starting to come out the other side, as we've seen through Rebels and New Dawn. But here we see Caleb Doom, the Jedi Padawan, the on the run. We see what put him towards that depth, what made him go and run away from the Jedi, the Force, anything that he could do, and just become this loner, this scoundrel. And now, as we've seen in Rebels, him bouncing back into becoming the Jedi that he was supposed to be. And so what has made Kanan the Last Padawan so good is just simply seeing that backstory. A great thing about this issue is we also kind of got what might be our last real hurrah with clone troopers. I doubt there's going to be that much clone trooper interaction going forward in the next couple of years. So it was kind of cool to see some clone troopers wrestle with what they did in Order 66. That was pretty emotional, actually, and really, really well done. And so there's a lot of good things in this comic to read. And so I couldn't recommend it any higher and say that Kanan is the best. So if you can, go check it out. Go check out all 5 issues. So what did you guys think? Have you read all the comics? Which one's your favorite? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, I'm Shawn Redman, aka the cheesily named Darth Shawn, and may the Force be with you, always.